We got some light snow on the way, but we're not done with snow chances before the weekend ends. How much snow we could see before we kick off next week in the full forecast.
Plus, there are new questions this noon over the administration's strikes on alleged drug boats after a closed-door briefing on Capitol Hill. Why top lawmakers are divided over the video that they viewed. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. Josh will be back on Monday. It appears the chilly temperatures are here to stay, and it's a busy holiday weekend. People getting their shopping done, and of course, the big Packers-Bears game in Green Bay. People will be out and about. This is a busy time of the year. What is the weather going to be like? Blaze Keller is in the Weather Center with
Hello. Yes, we're looking at some light snow this afternoon. A better chance for more accumulating snow Saturday night into, I would say, the mid-morning hours on Sunday. We'll start off first out in Dodgeville. A little bit of overcast conditions. Winds are light and out of the south, but even though temperatures are in the mid-20s, it does feel like we're a little bit cooler by about 10 degrees. There is a bit of a wind chill out there because of those light southerly winds. We have to go all the way out to the Dells, LaVale, as well as Loganville out there in parts of Sauk County to see some of that lighter snow beginning to move into Loganville, moving just to the east of Richland Center and Rockbridge. This is kind of the beginning of that light snow that we're expecting throughout the rest of the afternoon. Probably going to accumulate less than an inch for a lot of us because this is a very broken up line of snow. Certainly compared to what we saw this past holiday weekend, the more consistent blue across the area would lead to higher snow totals. So this is going to be about an inch or less for a lot of us. But by the time we go Saturday night into Sunday, we may be accumulating a couple inches of snow. So we'll take a look at that and even more snow chances as we go into next week. All that's coming up in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. And you can track the forecast for yourself anytime on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar, and you can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Middleton police are asking for your help this noon after what they describe as a suspicious interaction between a man and a child near a park. Officers say it happened Wednesday near Stricker Park. A man in a car went up to a child and started talking to them. He's described as being white, between 20 and 30 years old, with a mustache and a slim build. The man was wearing a red coat and a black hat and driving a dark-colored SUV. A bystander may have been jogging in the area at the time and witnessed this interaction. If you have any information on this incident, please call Middleton Police. A Beloit man could spend up to 65 years in prison for sexually assaulting two girls. A judge found Isaiah Washington guilty of first and second degree sexual assault. In April of 2024, a 13-year-old girl told police that Washington assaulted her in Janesville. Later that year, an 11-year-old reported he assaulted her as well. Both girls testified at trial, and DNA evidence linked Washington to the crimes. Sentencing is set for February 20th. We're learning more this noon about how police in Wyoming rescued a missing Wisconsin teenager this week. Police arrested two men after responding to an alert. They stopped the men's car and found the girl from Manitowoc inside. The men were saying they were hired to take her to Utah.
When it comes to human trafficking, in this case, technology is what helped us find this girl and get her home safe. But so often we are so reliant in these cases, especially when it comes to human trafficking, on public tips. We got what's called
Both men have been charged with kidnapping and interference in parental custody. The girl is back home with her parents. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth left this morning for events in California that are happening this weekend, but he faces intensifying questions in Washington over the administration's strikes on alleged drug boats in Venezuela. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
The U.S. military announced a 20-second strike on an alleged drug boat Thursday, killing 4 people the administration identifies as narco-terrorists. It comes as Operation Southern Spear faces increased scrutiny on Capitol Hill, with lawmakers questioning Navy Admiral Frank Bradley Thursday about a second strike on a boat in September that killed 2 survivors of an initial attack. Congressman Jim Himes, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, was among those shown unedited footage of the incident.
What I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service. You have 2 individuals in clear distress, without any means of locomotion, with a destroyed vessel, who are killed by the United States.
But Republican Tom Cotton, who chairs the Senate Intelligence Committee, called the strikes lawful.
I saw 2 survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs down for the United States, back over, so they could stay in the fight.
Lawmakers from both parties said Admiral Bradley told them Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth did not give the order to, quote, kill them all, as was reported by the Washington Post.
The White House has made clear President Trump remains confident in Secretary Hegseth, even as some Democratic lawmakers call for him to resign, especially in light of a new Pentagon Inspector General report.
The report found Hegseth did not comply with Defense Department policies when he used his personal cell phone and the messaging app Signal to relay sensitive military information about an operation in Yemen in March to other top administration officials. The report also found Hegseth's actions created a risk to operational security that could have resulted in failed U.S. mission objectives and potential harm to U.S. pilots. Hegseth described the report as a total exoneration, saying no classified information was shared. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The report noted that Secretary Hegseth has the authority to declassify information, but also said based on its review, some of the details shared matched information that was sent as secret. Vaccine advisors to the CDC have voted to stop recommending the hepatitis B vaccination to all newborns. Instead, they recommended that parents decide when or if their children should receive the vaccine. For those babies that don't receive the vaccine at birth, the panel recommends waiting until the babies are at least 2 months old to administer it. The group was handpicked by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who fired the advisory board that was in place when he took office. Netflix is expanding its reach. The streaming giant announced today it has come to terms with a deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. The total price tag, $72 billion. WBD, which is the parent company of CNN, is splitting the company into a pair of publicly traded halves. Once that's finalized, Netflix will take the Warner section, while the other half, named Discovery Global, will keep CNN and other cable channels. Still to come today at noon, 7-Eleven adds a dash of international flavor to its menu, and the numbers are in. We'll tell you how many Americans donated to nonprofits on Giving.
This year, employers have cut more than 1.1 million jobs through November. Outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas says that's the most since 2020. Back then, companies laid off more than 2 million people as the pandemic was hitting the U.S. economy. This time, Challenger says tech is driving the surge in job cuts, with more than 150,000 workers in the sector losing their jobs through November, a 17% jump over the same period a year ago. Americans got into the holiday spirit this week as they gave an estimated $4 billion to nonprofit organizations on Giving Tuesday, according to a nonprofit with the same name. That's up by about $400 million from 2024. This year, more than 11 million people volunteered on Giving Tuesday, a nearly 20% jump from last year. Giving Tuesday says that's thanks to more people looking for a sense of belonging and connection. And 7-Eleven is adding a dash of international flavor to the menu at its U.S. stores with the debut of the Japanese-style egg salad sandwich. It's one of 7-Eleven's best-selling items in Japan, where the culinary creation is known as the tamago sando. One key to the sandwich's success is it's made with an egg yolk-only mayonnaise called Kewpie. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Thank you, Jesse. And let's check stocks to end the work week on Wall Street. Everybody in the green. The Dow is up 162 points at noon. The Nasdaq is up 68 and the S&P 500 is up 16. Our call for action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. You can call for action 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime on channel3000.com/call for action. We'll check in with Farm Director Pam Yankee when we come back, and Blaze is tracking the weekend forecast. And then later this afternoon on Live at 4, our film critic Will Loper has some streaming recommendations for you on this chilly and snowy weekend. That's coming up later on Live at 4.
The Oscar-winning animated short, War is Over, is now on.
Tomorrow, Community Action in Beloit is hosting its 12th annual Gingerbread Extravaganza. It's at Freusen Middle School from 10 a.m. to noon. It's a major fundraiser supporting Community Action's programs in Rock and Walworth counties. There will be gingerbread decorating, a visit from Santa, and more. You can also donate to the cause at community-action.org. All right, a chilly weekend is on the way. It really does. It feels colder today without the sun from yesterday.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of the perfect time for that fundraising event, because what is the best time to make a gingerbread house? When there's snow on the ground, when it is cold. Santa, of course, being there because it is a winter wonderland. And we're going to continue to add to the snow that is likely going to stick around probably through at least the middle of December. No big warm-ups on the horizon. A couple clipper systems here and there just adding to our snowpack, which is some good news considering last year we really didn't see a whole lot of snow. I think we picked up a little over 17 inches in Madison from December through February of this past winter, and we picked up 11 inches in 2 days this past weekend in November. So we're really catching up to what we ultimately saw throughout the entire winter last season. So, any more snow on the horizon? Yes. The first one is going to occur later this afternoon. That's probably going to be less than an inch. And then Saturday night into Sunday looks to be a little bit more of accumulating snow. Southerly winds have moved a little bit more moisture up into parts of the Midwest. And it looks like most of us will probably make off between 1 to maybe 3 inches of snow. Southwestern Wisconsin, upwards of 3 to 4 by the time things are all said and done come Sunday morning. So if you are going to be heading up to Lambeau, either I would do it earlier in the day on Saturday and just make a day up there for the game on Sunday, or leave sometime between 8 and 10 o'clock Sunday morning. That's when most of the snow will move on out of here. Then we go into Monday with the mostly cloudy conditions. It's just that time of year where we'll likely squeeze out a few flurries, some light snow here and there, but no accumulating snow between, I would say, Sunday morning until about Wednesday of next week. That looks to be another sizable system that will likely bring us another round of accumulating snow. So here's that round that we're carefully watching Saturday night into Sunday. We may opt to go into an alert day if this continues to maybe trend a little bit more northerly, putting more of southern Wisconsin underneath this blanket of 1 to maybe 3 inches of snow. A lot more of southern Wisconsin is going to be underneath the blue compared to what we'll see this afternoon, so more of that widespread chance for accumulating snow. This is the snow totals that we could see today into Saturday, so less than an inch. Let's roll in the snow Saturday night into Sunday. That's when, again, we're likely going to pick up between 2 to maybe 4 inches of snow. I would say further north and east, you're going to have a less likely chance of getting close to that 3 to 4 inch mark. Southwestern Wisconsin, probably going to see closer to that 3 to 4 inches of snow by the time this wraps up on Sunday. Again, stay with News 3 Now. We will keep you updated throughout the rest of this afternoon into Saturday if we do opt to go into an alert day. This is further going to add to our snowpack, which could very likely stick around even beyond the middle of December into the Christmas time frame because our northwesterly flow just continues to be in the forecast. The confidence level of remaining cooler than average over the next 8 to 14 days is not dwindling. We are not seeing the lighter blues. Actually, we're seeing more of the darker blues over parts of the Midwest. And the darker the blues here on this map means the higher the confidence level. So we're now sitting at a 60 to 70% chance of being cooler than average from the 13th through the 19th. And if we don't really get a whole lot of warm air and we continue to add to our snowpack, then we could be carrying over our Thanksgiving snowfall all the way to Christmas. We'll keep our fingers crossed for snow lovers and those who really want that white Christmas that does happen. But certainly we will continue to add to those to the snowpack over the next couple of days. Light snow today, more accumulating snow Saturday night into Sunday. And then Susan and folks at home, as I've been mentioning, I think that Wednesday, Thursday system next week is going to be our next bigger one. Very similar to maybe what we'll see Saturday night into Sunday. And just a quick PSA, given that now the lakes are starting to freeze, just use caution when getting out there. If it's not 4 inches thick, just don't even try to get on that ice.
That's very good advice. Good reminder, Blaze. Thank you. Turning now to some more local news, the UW Board of Regents has approved a plan to create a College of Computing and Artificial Intelligence at UW-Madison. The move would reorganize Madison's School of Computer, Data, and Information Sciences. UW leadership says the new college reflects an increase in demand for work already being done within CDIS. This as a brand new CDIS building opened on campus this school year. Enrollment in computer science majors have more than doubled since 2015, rising from 1,043 students that year to over 3,000 this year. The Milwaukee Bucks are back on television Wisconsin tonight. They're taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Milwaukee will be without star player Giannis Antetokounmpo, unfortunately. He suffered a leg injury in the Bucks' last game against the Pistons. You can find tonight's game on television Wisconsin. That's channel 3.2. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. And check this out. Team USA's Olympic uniforms have been unveiled for their opening and closing ceremonies in the upcoming Winter Olympics in Italy. Ralph Lauren's company spent 2.5 years on them, and they are entirely made in the U.S. This is the 10th year in a row that Ralph Lauren has designed Team USA's Olympic uniforms. We are having a few technical difficulties, unfortunately, this noon trying to get to Pam Yankee. Sorry about that, but we do have the ag numbers for you as we wrap up the work week. So here they are. Both be back on Monday. When we come back, Blaze has a final check on the weekend forecast. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you or your kids have Pokemon cards, stored up in the attic, you might want to take a look at them. A GameStop customer is now $30,000 richer after trading in a Pokemon card. GameStop posted the details on X. It said the card was a PSA grade 10 holographic Gengar card. The fair market value was nearly $34,000. GameStop authenticated the card and paid the customer just over $30,000. The retailer said this is the most valuable single trade-in ever recorded in GameStop history. And finally today at noon, the Pantone Color Institute has picked its color of the year for 2026. And of all of the colors they could have picked, this year they chose white. Called Cloud Dancer, officials at Pantone say it's a billowy, balanced white imbued with a feeling of serenity. They must be from Wisconsin. Pantone's executive director added, Cloud Dancer also signifies people's desire for a fresh start. The Institute makes its annual decision after looking into cultural references and then focusing on a color family. Chosen perfectly for this year, Blaze.
It is cloudy today, and we'll be watching as a little bit of snow moves on in beginning later this afternoon. Temperatures hanging out in the 20s with that snow likely picking up across central and southern Wisconsin as we head beyond the 3 o'clock hour, looking at probably an inch or less, but we are expecting more snow Saturday night into Sunday. That could result in a few inches, so stay with News 3 now for the latest. A cold Sunday up in Lambeau and back at home, and then more snow as we head into the middle of next week. We'll keep you updated on that system too.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day and a good weekend. Hope to see you back here for Live at 4. The Bold and the Beautiful is coming up next.